All right, I got a new weapon in my fight to record quickly in a moment's notice, and that weapon is the GoPro Mini that I just recently got. I also got the Volta, and connecting them allows me to turn the Mini on with the Volta. So as soon as if somebody approaches my car, I keep the Mini right here, and if something weird comes up, I'm ready to go. Boom. It's just one step, and it involves grabbing and pressing the button. Now I gotta say this, I don't know if this button is always 100%, because I did have some kind of weird error message one time. It wasn't when I absolutely needed it though. But I can record in a moment's notice, just keeping it securely to my side here, pressing the button. And what I do is I look for okay, let's see how long it takes. All right, I press the button. 1, 2, it should be on, right? I look for that, and then we're off. A quick record, one button press through the Volta. It's a little remote type of setup here, and it's one of my fastest ways to be able to get to the camera yet, because the time it takes to do this, you know, I don't even want to hesitate. If I think something looks fishy near me, it's a quick button press, because it does take 2 seconds. I can miss the moment sometimes. Whereas opposed to the camera phone, I got a double. The fastest way is to double tap, and then I'm already in video. Well, then I hit the video actually. So it's a little bit more clumsy with the phone. I got to double tap, find the video button, and record. That's pretty quick. All right, the phone is pretty quick, but I don't always keep it secure in a way to be quick. I keep the Mini right here. I know where it's at. I know to grab it. I know. It's very quick. All right, and it takes some of the stress off of having to quickly turn the camera on, just by simply grab, and my thumb, as soon as I grab, my thumb is like right there. It's like I don't have to look. Whereas with the phone, I don't have to look for the button to double press it. Sometimes it's a concern though, because sometimes I may not, the second double tap, I may not press it fast enough, and it goes to the home screen instead, and that turns it off. It's got to be a quick double tap. You have to be really aware. But I have to actually use my eyes and look for the record button, and it takes 2 hands. It's so 2 hands versus 1 hand. Boom. There's a difference in speed on if you know, you have moments, if you want to take advantage of quick drawing, quick recording. The camera takes 2 hands, because I could do 1 hand with the double tap, but then yeah, I can't, if I try to reach that record button with the only 1 hand, oh, I drop it. So it's really seconds, it's precious seconds to consider. This should be the first camera I reach for, and then of course I want to put my Max 360 up on the car roof too. Get this up there. All right, but that's secondary. I grab the Max seconds. The 11 first, hit it, I'm ready to go, and then as I'm recording, I grab the max, get that going, and switch hands. Okay, max is running. This is but two cameras running, and I could put the, I can open up the door holding the max, and I could put it on the roof while holding the max. Now this is during the daytime. What about when it's dark out? All right, you can't see anything. At least you're getting audio. That's the least that you can do. But what if you want to shine a little light on the subject? I've got these lights. Okay, yeah. I do have one on a magnet. Okay, to help with the max, and I want it facing down a little bit. I don't want it shining in their eyes. But this is on a magnet, so this, after I put up the max, and I'm always holding the 11. I switch hands again, and then put a light on the roof too, to face out, to also put some lights on the subject to help with the max, because the max ain't great with lights. This GoPro 11 Mini's better with the light, better than the max. But also, what I've been wondering too, when I've been thinking about, is with this Volta, it's got this bicycle mount, and I have a bicycle, the clamp thing on the handlebars, so you could use the Volta on your handlebars. It's something just a little extra. Oh, look at that! The springiness pulls it back. It's not that strong, and I gotta say, I think the weakest point where the Volta is gonna eventually fail is right here. They've buffed it up, but I've had issues with connections like this where it just dies, it stops working. And this is $150 or something, the Volta. So there's this well, and yeah, like the clips back here too. There's clips back here. There's also these clips in the front on the Volta. And I wonder if I got a nut, I could screw the light in, but it needs a nut on the ends, and it faces down a little bit, which is kind of fine. I could face the camera down too, but I don't want to actually shine my light directly on in the cop's face as I'm trying to record their face. I don't want to be shining the light in their face. So I haven't really tested the angles on how that looks, but to secure the light mod onto this thing, so you could just sit there and record holding one hand at night with the light. You could just use a nut of the right size, which I don't have. This is something kind of new that I'm thinking about. But we got a one-handed operation now. This is pretty new technology in a fight to record, to document situations. Was there anything else I wanted to talk about? I was thinking that this would be the initial grab. Okay, boom, turns on, recording, and then I want to also grab. I do want to use my phone too. So as I'm recording, I can turn it on, use both hands, still hold on to the Mini, and then start preparing the Mini for if I have to step outside to get put in handcuffs. I could set the Mini down on top of my car, you know, a little distance from the GoPro Max, I'm thinking, or even put it on the ground. Depends on the cop and the situation, but it's a quick grab, and it's a somewhat quick stand. The faster stand, of course, is the faster standalone stand is the setup for the GoPro Max with the magnet. It just hangs, it stands, it withholds at least 30 miles an hour, because I tested it by accident. But I think I want to turn the Mini into the primary first grab camera, because I get too many cop interactions, and they happen just so. There's such a surprise. I could go months without an interaction, and then suddenly I get a few. I just want to be ready for it. And also this would be, I'd use this on bicycle rides and stuff too, in between. But this would be the first to grab, and then I'm recording the quickest, have the 360 ready for when I'm about to open the door, and then the phone too. And of course I got this 11, that I got other cameras I can record on as well. But I'm changing up my strategy a little bit, and night situations are something to think about. They're different from day situations. You want to shine some light. I wish I had a nice night vision camera. I wish the GoPro had night vision, but they don't do that. So that's the strategy as I think about this, going into the future. With the way the technology is going, it's making it easier. I can't just keep a camera running all the time. I actually experimented with a dash cam, and it's just eating up SD cards. It has a loop function, and I think the loop function is causing errors of some kind. It's not in the right format. You can format exFAT format style SD cards, but this is changing it to something else, which I haven't quite studied close enough. So that's the strategy. Whoa, what's something going on? Oh, and then record. It's a quick one-handed recording grab. I've never had anything like this, because what I've had in the past have been different handles that I'd have to record. I'd have to hit the top button to record. All right, so that would actually take two hands. If I couldn't record with the one hand on the side, I would have to use my other hand to turn it on the top. But now I just quick grab, hit the button, and wait for the red to turn on. There we go. Wow, that took some time. It started out white just for a split second. So you got to trust it. You got to have some faith. But you look for that red button, and you can see that, you know, as a driver, everything on my left side, well, you could turn this too. You could turn it to how you could have it. I could have it facing the right side actually, or facing directly behind me. I've just been kind of with it being on the left, fine with it being on the left side. I look for that red button, that red light, and there we go. But yeah, in the past with other handles, oh, I don't know, like this one or something, if I had this Mini is new for me. It's instead I would have been using the bigger cameras, which, you know, these bigger cameras are a little bit more invasive. I also have a big lens on it too, but the size difference is there. I like the non-invasive appearance of the Mini. It's not as easy to see, and it's a great operator. It's great to operate. Whereas this is these The 11, say the 11 regular size is just, it's a little bit invasive, a little bit larger. It blocks more view. I want to have less space between me and the subject. I want them to be able to see me as much as possible, and having a smaller camera, it's more narrow, but it's a little thicker, which, you know, the thickness ain't too bad. And that's for battery space, I guess. I'll say I have one complaint about this Mini, and I hope that they can make a software change. But at night, I've now noticed that this display is a little too bright. It does turn off after a few seconds. Okay, I turned it on. It should turn off. I think it takes about 15 seconds or so. But it's a little too bright for me at night. I turned off all lights that indicate that the camera's on. I don't want people to know. All right. But okay, well, okay, there it turns off. Takes about 30 seconds maybe, but it's bright that whole time. And at night, that's pretty visible, and I don't like that. I don't want anybody to know that there's this bright light. There's this bright light shining off the top. I'd rather just them see like the red dot that appears. Okay, let me turn it off. You don't even know it's on. Oh, it shut off on its own. No, it's still on. Okay. So I hold the button, turned it off. And it's always ready to record. The only light I want to see is that red dot on the Volta. That's it. I don't even really want to see the display at all. So I'm thinking, you know, if there's no software change being done, maybe I'll just put some electrical tape over the display, because I don't even really need to see the display, because everything I need to see from this camera I can look at on my phone with the GoPro Quick app, so I can make changes and whatever. But I mean, sometimes it might be necessary to see the screen, since I'm so new to this. If there's a failure, I'm going to need to see that screen. Because there's been one moment in the week I've had this now where it did say, it asked if I wanted to reconnect to the Volta, and I'm like, okay, yes. And I actually had to physically hit the front button and the top button, and if that happened while I needed to use it quick, then I would have lost a lot of footage. So there's a little bit of a concern with software connections between the Volta and 11. This is new technology, so they're still they're working on trying to perfect it. So that's it. That's all I have to say about my new strategy and setup on my setup here.